March 2026 still landing surprises on the mobile gaming front, and there's a ton of just mobile games coming your way this weekend. Hello friends, this is Mobile, and here are over 20 new mobile games released this week to play on Android and iOS. Sitting at number 1, we've got a offline gem, a pretty decent classic inspired by the old Doom games, something called Mega Pain. Maybe even a little bit inspired by the Painkiller games. And it's straight up throwback to those wild 90s arena shooters where everything's just loud and chaotic. You're just punching tickets on mutants, demons, and a good amount of bosses by using a chunky arsenal of weapons. I don't know, pistols, rocket launchers, plasma guns, the whole deal. The vibe is all pure retro with 3D visuals and a heavy rock soundtrack pushing the action. There's a full offline campaign if you want to go solo. But you can also jump into co-op or go PvP with other players for that classic arena shooting.
Fight for lives that refuse to surrender.
Number 2 with the game Last Elf, which is an action RPG where you play as the final surviving elf in a world that's pretty much fallen apart. Well, it's a dark fantasy, so demons are taking over, monsters are everywhere, and you're the last one left trying to fight. The game sort of leans heavily into real-time sword combats, lots of hack and slashing, monster hunting, big demon bosses that can actually push you a bit. It's fully offline if you want it. It feels more like a focused single-player adventure. It's an open world game, also you can swap weapons to match your style and grow stronger while uncovering a little bit of story. To be honest, it's a pretty decent game. This comes almost highly recommended if it's working on your region. Wix Mobile is a new battle royale that mixes your old classic blast man standing rhythm with hero abilities and RPG style builds. Where instead of, everyone playing the same soldier, you pick from different hero types like assassin, sorcerer, each with their own skills and play styles. The matches are all about adapting on the fly, leveling up during the fight, unlocking new abilities, and tweaking builds. The gunplay is pretty responsive, and if you should know, it's more ability driven of a take on the battle royale rather than just shooting. Phantomon is at number 4, one of those idle games, of course, where you're just there to mainly collect, and then some squad battling to win fights, of course. The twist is the global servers, and by that I mean players from all around the world are grinding at the same time, obviously, teaming up in 4-player groups to fight each other, where your team keeps battling and ending loot even when you're offline, so every time you log back in, there's something new to upgrade or evolve and get surprised with. There are over 100 different roles you can swap between. It's mostly about experimenting with builds and slowly turning your squad into something basically unstoppable. Pretty good game. On another hand, on number 5, with Escape Prison Arena, which is sort of Minecraft turned Prison Break. You're the unlucky prisoner trying to not get just wiped out. There's mini games, traps, obstacles, and it's all about timing and, sort of screwing over the other inmates. You're always racing, dodging, pushing, sneaking your way through levels, and it kind of gets competitive, Controls are pretty simple though, rounds are short, surprisingly addictive. You gotta survive longer than everyone else to win, and hopefully get that sweet spot sort of freedom. It's just pure arcade madness, free and playable offline. Swap Heroes is a pretty solid time if you're into real-time action RPGs. It's definitely one for the replay value and long-time commitments, although it's in short matches. The visuals are pretty nice, pretty minimal looking and smooth and paced. You're building squads, swapping on the fly and smashing with different abilities. It actually makes you think about who's out front. The boss fights are pretty tough to keep it interesting but not frustrating, and leveling up heroes feels really satisfying. Lots of quests, all straightforward but still give you a reason to explore, and popping into guild events is fun with other players as well. It's online, of course, about 1 GB in total. Up at number 7 with the game This Ain't Even Poker, Ya Joker. So first of all, let me just say it's one of the wildest roguelike card games. At the same time, it doesn't take itself too seriously, yet it hits like a truck. You're stuck in a carnival thing run by a jester, and your escape plan is to play poker hands, build a deck, level up your minions, and rack chips. It's idly clicky fun, more laid back than your typical deck builder, but still enough challenge to keep you hooked, really. The low poly visuals also give it a quirky old vibe. Risk reward mechanics make it tense. If you love card with a side of chaos, well, this one's pretty much a trip. Maybe a tad even like Balatro. A Ticket Hero is, however, one of those idle RPGs where you're just constantly getting stronger when you're not playing. So the hook is this mysterious ticket that lets you tap into power of legendary heroes. You gotta mix their skills and styles to build up your own setup. The battles play out in pixel action while your characters keep grinding, rewards in the background. It's all about upgrading, tweaking builds, and pushing through tougher stages. There's PvP, arenas, guild battles, and tournaments if you wanted to compete. Pretty easy game to keep checking back on every few hours a day. If you enjoy art-type class arcade bullet hell games, I gotta say, man, Nova Drift is a wild one. It's a space roguelike where your ship basically grows as you fight. You grab upgrades, swap modules, figure out whether you wanna snipe, smash enemies, or just spam drones everywhere. Everyone feels a little different. Maps, enemies, it's all about randoming, so you're never gonna do the same thing twice, almost. You're gonna be dying a lot, but every time you come back, your ship's a little crazier, a little stronger. The game is basically all about experimenting with builds and seeing how far you can push. It's not free, but plays offline on both the Google and the Apple Store. Now, with that being said, Wicked Defense is a little bit, it's something different. It's a roguelike tower defense game with a little fun twist, which is you're playing as a washed up witch who suddenly has to save the world because there's nobody else doing it. The twist is, it mixes classic defense with roguelike choices, letting you pick cards and upgrades that shape runs. One round you might be freezing enemies solid, the next you're burning all waves with spells. You can also power up recruiting villages, upgrading your staff and gear, and stocking gems to tweak your builds however you like. It's a kind of defense game where every run feels a little different. Sitting at number 11, we have Adrenaline Rampage, which is a roguelike platformer with a little cyberpunk meets dark fantasy twist that really hits hard if you're into that sort of vibe. You're dashing, shooting, blasting with a techno-zombie thing, switching between sword, rifle, rocket launches, energy beams, or even drone, mid-run. It never gets old, actually. The playthroughs feel different because of the random perks and the evolving build as you get. So you're always adapting. It's got bosses, levels are very tricky, grindy but fair, and watching your soldier get stronger after every death, it actually feels awesome. At number 12, this actually took a good, I think, a decade to come around, but it's finally here, and Coffee Talk is a pretty chill vibe rather than a game to its absolute limit. You're a barista in a cozy little fantasy cafe, brewing drinks for humans, elves, orcs, and even demons while listening to the problems and stories. It's less about grinding, more about soaking in the stories. Every customer has their own little drama. The coffee choices can make a difference. The pixel art visuals actually, the slow-paced lo-fi jazz and the relaxed pace make it almost a perfect wind-down game. There's no rush, no stress, just conversations and warm drinks. It's a demo, the full game is about $10. But, who's to tell it's not worth it. Now, if you are really a pixel art lover and appreciate a good pixel art game, since we talked about Coffee Talk, we've got another one called Encounter the Lost Cards, which is maybe one of the coolest looking new roguelikes that's basically a solo adventure through a deck of tarot cards. Every card you draw is a mini story, could be a fight, a trade, or a blessing, or a curse, and your choices decide how far you make it into the game. Combat's though all about timing and planning, not just spamming attacks. Resources are tight, every item, every energy and space in your inventory really matters. It's pixely, strategic, and actually very deep. Perfect if you like smart, pixel art halfway role-playing roguelikes.
Welcome to Dare Up, the ultimate wingsuit base jumping arcade challenge.
Up next with a Dare Up game, and it's actually a semi-sports wingsuit rush game where you're flying just inches away from death. Cliffs, trees, rocks, trying to rack up a good score for that matter. And the closer you skim past the obstacles, the higher your score is gonna get. But mess it up and you're crashing straight into death. Pretty risky in that regard. Very skill based, so every run turns into a little tense challenge to beat your last score. Maps are pretty wide open, built for low attitude flying, which makes every dive field quite intense. It's a kind of game that quickly turns into that one more run grind. It's also free. Going down to number 15, we have Stray Cat Doors 3 Chapter 2, which, for those of you who played the previous one, it picks up right where the first one left off, dropping you into a cozy little puzzle adventure with just a bunch of cats tagging along. There's new stages, puzzles, traps, items needed to clear each level. Super chill game. The kind of game you play when you just want something relaxing. The cats do help with the puzzles, sometimes you'll even team up with multiple ones in the stage. There are new outfits to unlock, and that soft music that sells the vibe. Pretty good, almost perfect if you want something cute and relaxing. Nowhere Profit is honestly one of those card games that actually makes you feel like a leader. If you were to imagine it in some broken future. You're guiding a bunch of outcasts across a wasteland, duking it out with these greedy slavers and rogue machines using turn-based sort of card combat. The maps do change every run, cards unlock as you explore, building a deck that actually works feels awesome. The soundtrack, kind of electronic with Indian influences, is just right while you're like plotting your next move. It's a chill to start for free, then pay once to unlock everything, and I'm not really sure, but I do know once you are in, you're not just gonna stop tweaking your deck. Moving on to number 17, we have Mycelium. It's a psychological horror game that just low-key hits you with deep creep vibes right out the gate. You're stuck in this empty apartment, doing these little weird tasks while the place slowly messes with your head as you go. The retro low poly graphics to kind of make it all make sense. They totally really sell that unsettling something's off feeling. It's a pretty short game, like a 30-minute adventure all around, but every minute is tense. It's like a bite-sized psychological horror snack if you want it. Pretty good for when you want a quick thrill, some offline horror, and a story that sticks with you. Going down to number 18, we have Stranger Alternate World, which is another offline-friendly puzzle adventure with another creepy, although this one's in a deserted world vibe almost to the max. The story is overnight, everything went sideways for some reason, people acting weird, disappearing, cities cut off, and you're just trying to survive, scavenging buildings, grabbing supplies, and figuring out what the heck happened, and everybody else is infected out to get you except yourself. It's the kind of game where you're sneaking a lot, piecing story from scraps you find, and it does keep you hooked. Pretty short, offline, enough to make you feel like you're really in there. Going down to number 19, we have Dynasty Soul. Pretty wild ride actually. It's an arcade type of management action strategy sort of mixed with these chibi heroes that are almost surprisingly fun. Collecting them and seeing their little quirks is really addictive. Pace is kind of a raidy-like, which is nuts. It's got bosses popping up every different stage. It's got a pretty good loot system, keeps you wanting to try more. Honestly, it's just a really satisfying arcade-style beat-em-up game that makes you feel like you accomplished something for once.
The last time these two sides met, and it was a thriller.
On another hand, we've got the game Ultimate Women's Cricket League. Maybe one of the best women's cricket games you can play on mobile. You can jump into online matches and chill offline when you're on the go. Pretty smooth controls for a free game. The stadium looks great, and the battle in bowling actually feels satisfying. You set up your field, bowl deliveries, and just celebrate your wins with your team. It's got live commentary, tournaments, loads of player animations. It actually feels like a real T20 match in your pocket. Pretty quick, fun progression system, total cricket vibes. And this one is a very chill business sim where you build and manage your own supermarket like almost no other game, like there's no tomorrow. You start with just a tiny little store, expand it into a shopping center, organizing shelves yourself, ordering, keeping customers happy. The big twist is that it's a pet-friendly store, meaning shoppers can bring their own pets and cats along inside the store. You're gonna be hiring staff, managing, and designing the layout to maximize the profits. And if you manage everything well, your little shop can grow into the best one in town. I know this looks stupid, but Doodle Dash, last but not least here, is something of a goal. It puts you in the little sketchbook world where every race is all about reflexes and timing. Basically a drag racing game with a bit of a twist. Your races are pretty quick, Doodle style visuals give it a little fun cartoon vibe, and there's a bunch of weird rides that you can make and collect. Pretty simple game to pick up, but chasing perfect runs and records actually becomes hard and addictive. Total one more race energy, and that's what it is. Thanks for watching, I really hope you enjoyed, I'll see you again tomorrow.